How you doing? It's the Butcher here, and I'm back today with my third iteration of my HoTA Barb for the Avatar of Zir. And I'm not gonna lie, this thing is hard. I know a lot of people have kind of given up on it, but for the people that still are going, I wanted to kind of update you on what I am using. And so far, I've beaten tier 15, could possibly beat a 16 at the moment. I'm working on actually leveling up my glyph. It's at 19 right now. When I beat the 15, I believe it was at 17, maybe even 16, but I want to get this up so I can get the extra 10% to the rare nodes. But anyway, let's go over the build. So kind of call this the pull and stomp build. So as you can see, so we're using triple shout, steel grasp, and ground stomp. And so previously in my last video, I came out with kind of the ground stomp and I was working well with me. I was using Wrath of the Berserker. And that is really good. The only problem is it's very short burst of DPS. However, you are able to, that build is still good and you are able to decrease that with this right here with ground stomp. But as you can see, I've opted for something else. So let's go over the skill tree. So first, the 4s are because I am using Shaco. But lunging strike, we actually are not using any type of generator. Maxing out HoTA into Furious Hammer, and then coming down, we're taking, it's just 1 point into ground stomp, but then we're taking that into tactical for more fury. We're taking 3 points into imposing presence, and you'll see as we go on, we've dropped a lot of any type of defensive abilities just because we need so much DPS to get through these higher tiers. It is insane how much health. Sometimes I'll bonk them on like tier like 15 or 16 for like 600 million overpowers. It's like maybe not even 2/3 of their health bar. It's wild, but you'll kind of see what we did here to pump up the DPS. But anyway, so we're taking Rallying Cry. I don't have a point in it, and we're also taking Challenging Shout. I also don't have a point in that. Obviously, I can use them because of the Shaco. If you do not, I would take 2 points out of here. Again, losing DR, but we need it. So that's what I would do for that, and then put those on your bar. And then we're taking Warcry into Power Warcry. Again, more DPS. Still taking Booming Voice because we need these active to generate Fury. We are using, so I'm using 3 into aggressive resistance. You can drop it down to 1 depending on what you want to do. We are using 3 into prolific fury for our fury generation, 3 into pit fighter, 3 into slaying strike, and this is actually very nice. Injured enemies are below 35% health if you didn't know. Oh, it says it right there with the tooltip. But this gives a huge DPS bonus against them, and we need every single bit of it to push these higher tiers. And then we're taking just 1 into Steel Grasp. Again, I have it at 5. But then we're taking this into Fighters to give us Berserking basically every time we use it because we should be hitting an enemy. 1 point into Thick Skin, and then 3 into Counter Offensive. And then we are taking all of these maxed out down here. So again, I know crit, this is like a lot of it's just additive at this point, but using all the damage we can get. Obviously for the overpowers, Brute Force. Wallop is really good because we're going to have them both stunned and vulnerable. I know it doesn't double up, unfortunately, but still a 15% multiplicative increase. And then we're using Concussion because we are going to be using stun a lot in this build. And then our one form of healing here is we're just taking 1 point Tempered Fury to get down to Invigorating Fury to heal us. And then our key passive is Unbridled Rage. And I actually think I forgot an actually pretty important 1 point right here into Outburst. This is mainly just to keep our disobedience up because every time they attack us, it's going to be doing damage to them. Therefore, it's giving us stacks of disobedience. You can also put 1 into Toughness and Nails too to make them bleeding, and that's specifically for one of our Paragon nodes where if you kill a bleeding enemy, it's a 10% chance to gain Berserking, but we can gain it pretty easily through our Steel Grasp, our War Cry, and then the aspect that allows us to extend that duration. So onto the gear here. I mean, it's a 4 uber unique build, and it's still struggling with these higher tiers. It is tough. So as you can see here, the attack power is crazy as we've leveled up the Tears of Glyph node. The armor here is enough to get us to the cap with full stacks of disobedience. My life's about 25, close to 26k. So we're using Shaco. It might be like I was giving alternatives, and there still is. You can still go for a defensive helmet and it'll help you, but man, I mean, you need as many uber uniques as you can get to try to beat the higher tiers of this, or at least until you're able to level your glyph up enough to the point where you're doing crazy damage. But we're using Shaco over here. We are using disobedience on her chest, and I have 1 resistance, and then I have total armor and 2 forms of DR. On our gloves here, we got attack, speed, crit chance. Could probably roll off lucky hit chance, honestly, but it is what it is. And then ranks of hammers and ancients, and we have edge masters on there. Still using Tibalt's. On our boots here, so we have movement speed and then triple resistance. And we did give up our movement speed with Ghostwalkers, which stinks, and it doesn't feel as good, to be honest. But again, we need just raw DPS, so we have to give up the movement speed. So we're actually using Relentless Berserkers on our boots here. And you can actually see I have the codex roll because I went through so many different builds. I ran out of any good rolls of this, and I bet you I had some more along the way that I just got rid of because I have no stash space making 5 characters this season. But it is what it is. Our mace stays the same, all stats, strength, overpower, damage while berserking, then limitless rage on there. Our 1 mace, and then you could potentially have 2 depending on if you have a Doombringer or not. But on our 1 mace, we have the what is this called? Ancestral Force aspect, and again, same affixes as the 2-handed mace. Then we're using Doombringer. If you don't have a Doombringer, I would suggest another mace with the same aspects. And then I would actually suggest the, I forget what it's called, but it's where you stand still. You can get 30% damage. Because a lot of times you just be sitting there whacking with the hammer. So you can get some actually pretty big damage increase, and that's actually pretty nice. So I've tried that one. I just don't have a spot to put it the way I'm running it. I do like Doombringers against these higher tiers just for some more defense and life. But you can use that other aspect as well. I wish I remember the name of it. 2-hander, we're using Grandfather. If you don't have a Grandfather, then you can pop on again another 2-handed sword with these same affixes, and then I would roll with oh god, I don't even know. And the aspect that gives you I would probably put Edge Masters on here, and then on the gloves I would put the aspect that gives you, it's like the 3 things that circle around you. Do I have it in here? Sorry, one sec. Is it? I have some of these ones I don't want. This one's actually not bad to put on like a 1-hander. It's 25% multiplicative if you're inside the earthquake. It's this one. So you're looking for when it alternates to physical, 30% multiplicative increase is also not a bad aspect to use. But then moving on to the jewelry, and we have rubies and all of that. And then on jewelry, we're using 2 skulls, and then we're using whatever resistance we don't have maxed out to get it there. So in my case, that's cold, so I have a sapphire in there. But we're using Melted Heart. I've just needed this to be able to survive. I've tried my best with Banished Lords, and maybe as we get into higher tiers, we drop to vaults. I've seen a lot of people doing the Whirlwind HoTA kind of alternating strat, and I haven't loved it. I've preferred this build. I have tried it, but it just doesn't seem to be working very well for me. I know there's some tricks people do to do it faster. I saw Rob's video where you're basically holding down shift the entire time, but we're not using that right now. So we're using Melted Heart. We are using a ring. We want you can actually probably drop crit because we crit so much with our next ring. But you definitely want damage while berserking, max fury, and resource. So you can either have crit or some other type of damage on there. Probably just want like overpower or something like that. And then we're using the echoing fury, so our shout skills are constantly generating fury, which we obviously need for Selly here. And then we're rocking the Ring of Red Fear, and this is for a couple things. One, the extra damage is very nice, and then the super high resource gen, honestly, is what's really, really big, and the very high roll, we have a very good one here, of Max Fury, is also very nice. So then moving on to the vampiric powers, we are using Domination. This is one of the things I've been working around for a while now, and it's because if you even back to my other video, the 25% multiplicative damage is huge to enemies that are stunned. We don't really have any of the other ones. It does kill non-elites if they're injured, but that's not really what we're worried about. We're still using Blood Boil. It's one of our 2 ways to overpower. We only have 2, unfortunately, now. I guess 3 if you include the 3% chance you normally have to overpower. We are using Resilience for the DR. Prey on the Weak. Not really this one so much because it actually doesn't give you multiplicative damage because of the way vulnerable works. We're using this to make enemies vulnerable. We don't have any other ways. Besides, actually, this does for 3 seconds, but these fights are long, so we want to be able to meta dash through them, which is our next one, and then we can make them vulnerable. And then our expertise is still 2-handed axe. I did mess around a little bit with the 1-handed mace, which gives 20% to stun. I think the 2-handed axe, though, is just more consistent, honestly. You could really do either. And then finally for the Paragon board. So I've made a ton of changes to this thing. So just to kind of quickly go through it, and this will all be in the description on D4 builds, but I'm using Ire down here, getting that all the way up to 60, grabbing some damage all berserking, and this node here, so like I said, I have it up to 19. I thought it was only your core skill, so I thought it was only strength for barbs, dex for rogues, etc. It is all the skills, which I was unaware of. It kind of seems a bit strange that it is, but it does give me a big increase. I'm up to 102 at level 19 percent increase, and I am seeing this one over here just because we're very strapped for points here on this Paragon board, honestly. Then we're going to be moving over here. We're actually going to be grabbing Wrath, and the crit damage is nice. What's really nice, though, is our skills that crit generate 3 Fury, and obviously that stacks onto our Fury generation. So that's the real nice part about this, and that's the main reason why we're actually using this glyph here. And then we're taking all the max Fury, basically, that we can, all the way down here. We're taking Warbringer, that's how we're going to fortify. And then we're moving up here. We're grabbing some more armor here just because we need it to hit the cap, and we get a little bit of DPS as well too, but really we're going up here to get Decimator. So when we make an enemy vulnerable, our damage is increased by 10% multiplicative for 5 seconds. Overpowering a vulnerable enemy grants an additional 10%, so again, just more and more DPS. And oh my god, wait, I'm missing this node. Oh my god, I was wondering why my last run was feeling so weird. That's because I was messing around with it and I messed up that node. That's because I want to go like this and go like this. Jeez. Okay. Well, I was doing some runs and it was feeling off, and I had just messed around with it, and I was only doing level 10 to level up the glyphs, so it actually wasn't that big of a deal. But that definitely will help when I show off some gameplay after this. So we're taking Bonebreaker and we're taking Bulwark just because it's right there. And then we actually come up this way. We can't grab this stuff, unfortunately. We just don't have the points to grab, was it Crusher? Just really grabbing the 40 so we get that 30% multiplicative overpower damage. And then finally, we are going to get Blood Rage, and our current bonus is at 60% multiplicative. And then you can when you kill a bleeding enemy, you can grant Berserking. That's why I said you could use the Tough as Nails if you wanted. But I'm not going to use that. What I instead I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into I guess I'll just do a level 15. Hopefully I can beat it. And I'm going to be honest, it's still very dependent on what you get in terms of shrines and the monsters in the map. Woody did actually a great breakdown of the best maps, the best monster types, and then obviously the best shrines. Like in my mind, a Blastway shrine is like you just gain, basically you're able to do 1 tier higher than you would before. That's how good it is. But anyway, let's jump into a 15. Hopefully I don't like screw this up, and if I die or I don't complete it. I just kind of want to show off how we're using the Steel Grasp and the Ground Stomp and how they work in synergy, and you know, how Melted Heart and everything like that is working. So let's craft one of those. Bada bing. And now let's jump in here, and hopefully I don't screw it up. Now, I don't think I'm going to die. What I think could easily happen, depending on what I said, is me not completing it in time. I can't believe I didn't have Bone Breaker when I was doing those speed farming runs. I was like, why am I not getting a lot of overpowers? That's why. I think this is actually a good map. I don't really know exactly. Okay, so we're going to come in just because we get like the guaranteed overpower right off the bat. And then we can pull these guys over here, ground stomp, so they're all stunned, and then actually hit them. And these guys are actually damage resistant. I actually like running away from the damage resistant guys because they take forever to kill. But we have a nice big group over here. So let's get our overpower, cast a couple shouts, pull, stomp, and smash. And still a lot of damage resistance, which sucks, but you... Oh, I'm not stuck. Oh, brother. But yeah, just casting our shots to keep it up. And then we can, again, pull them over, ground stomp. And ground stomp actually won't use your overpower, which is really nice. But the chains will, just to keep in mind. I actually think I just used it there, which sucks. But okay, in terms of the timer, kind of right along with it right now. Not great, but also not the worst. Let's pull these guys in here. And you can kind of see how it works, kind of the synergy. And it really helps with HoTA to kind of get them all together. Let's see what shrine we get here. We get a channeling shrine, which is actually pretty good. Shrine RNG is so... Why does it keep not... That's like the third time it's done that. It's just not letting me attack for whatever reason. But yeah, Shrine RNG is absolutely massive. So we'll use our overpower first because we don't want our chain grass to use it for us. And then we can suck them all together, stun them, and then hit them with a big overpower and then smash away. As you can see, our selling is also just keeping us alive like no other. Oh, is this guy vampiric? God damn it. Okay. What are we falling a little behind the timer right now? Okay, so hopefully you can still beat this, but I hope you guys see the way I'm using this build and why I'm having success with it. Because we're able to group everything up. We're able to, when we get those overpowers, hit pretty much all the enemies around us. And it's also able to keep up our berserking, which gives us a big damage increase. It gives us a fury generation increase. And it also gives us a damage reduction increase. So that is super nice. And these guys are taking forever to die. I'm probably just going to have to leave the vampiric guy. Yeah, let's just go on. Okay, we're a little ahead of the bar right now. It does take us a little while to kill the Bloodseekers though. So we're probably slightly behind pace. Let's get an overpower off. Let's pull them in, stomp. And then bang, bang. I mean, these guys have crazy health. You can see, like... Now it's more coming down to leveling up our glyph. Like, I saw Rob beat at 20, but his glyph was also level like 50 something, and he's using, like I said, that world. I just wasted an overpower. That was stupid. I don't know why I did that. He's using that whirlwind, like smash with the Earth Striker. That just, it doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the best. I think. This build, once I get the glyph level up more, is really, really solid. Okay, let's come here. Get a couple overpowers off, drag them in, ground stomp, and then, I mean, we're not doing bad damage. They're just absolutely tanking it at these tiers. Let's move on. Try to find another elite. Hopefully find. We only got one shrine so far, right? Hopefully find a Blasto shrine. Make myself look good. No, there's no skill involved. Just straight RNG. And as you can see, we have them so lumped together that our overpowers are hitting all of them. Back up. Pull them back in. Get our berserking back. Have them stunned, and that's, like I said, another 24% multiplicative increase. We actually are taking care of this mob actually quite nice. Bring them over. Nice overpower, stun, which also gives us a ton of fury, which helps with limitless rage, which helps with Selig, which helps with everything, I guess. Okay, so we're actually not doing too bad. Like I said, you do have to, I mean... Also, I think lightning does the most damage out of any elemental. Don't quote me on that, but I swear, like, when they spawn those lightning pylons, that's what melts me the most in terms of elemental damage. By, like, far, I feel like. Okay, what do we got here? Protection Shrine. I mean, normally... Oh, you know what I actually do here is, like, keep this. If I ever get a Protection Shrine, I switch over. Because there's obviously really no point in using Selig when we are immune. So I'm able to get more overpowers this way. I don't know why. Oh, I keep messing up the, what's it called, which sucks. The unstoppable timing with Tibalt's Will. Okay, and now we gotta make sure we go like this before we die. But that is why I keep it on there. And sometimes if I'm running out of time and I'm trying to push and I'm getting desperate, I'll throw it on there. And you can make some stuff happen, but it's very inconsistent compared to the Selig version. And you can also pull them while they're stunned too, which is kind of nice. While they're already stunned, I should say. Which I didn't know you could do. But let me see if... That guy didn't move, but because the chain missed him. But yeah, you're able to still pull them while they're stunned. The only problem with the pull is it, like, sometimes work on the Bloodseekers and it just sometimes won't, which is unfortunate. It's taking me way too long to kill this guy. I probably should have just left him. Okay. Oh, we got another shrine up here. An artillery shrine. Let's use it so we can... I mean, you could potentially probably wait until the Bloodseekers spawn. If I was... But I want to make sure I at least make it to the Bloodseekers. So, I'm not too embarrassed. Although this thing doesn't... This thing's not the best either. Just because it just doesn't increase our damage enough. Like, it doesn't... In regular dungeons, it's like crazy. Like, you're just obliterating everything. But in this, it's not nearly as good. Okay, so I mean, we're closing in now. I would like to have over 2 minutes, hopefully, to beat the Bloodseekers, but we'll see. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Come on, any shout. Okay. Jesus, I'm playing terribly. So kind of pull them in, evade through them, stomp, do all that. Okay, we should get the Bloodseekers here in a moment. There it is. Alright. Now these SOBs, for lack of a better term, these guys are hell. So the chains aren't, like, it pulled them that time. Sometimes it won't, where they'll go unstoppable when we stun them. So that's pretty frustrating. But this is also, for these guys too, is why I like to keep the Banished Lords on me. Because sometimes if I'm getting close to the end, I'll switch over to that as like a last-ditch effort, which I might have to do for this. We'll see if we can get... I'm trying to group them together, but they don't want to cooperate right now. Come on, I need a big overpower soon. And I only got the overpower on the one. Oh, yeah. And I use the overpower on the Steel Grasp. This might be tough here to do this in the next minute. trying to group them together, but you can see like they'll just move. Okay, we might have to go. Okay. So that's gonna be the gameplay. I'm not sure I would have beat them in time anyway. Again, that was a tier 15, so it's tough. I hope it showed it off. I'm actually not entirely. I must have ran out. I must have ran out of fury and just got absolutely one shot. Is what I'm guessing, which is definitely happened against the Bloodseekers. But that's gonna be the build I'm currently rocking, and I'm having a lot of success with it. You can see I was playing pretty poorly, and we were able to get to the Bloodseekers relatively handily. Again, that's unfortunate. We died. Usually I don't die. I'll run out of time. But we did die there. But that is going to be the updated build, the 3.0 version, if you will. Full description or full build will be in the description. And I will come back to you with any kind of major updates to the build. I'm not going to make it for every little tweak to the Paragon board or anything like that. That'll just be up to date on the site. But for any major changes, I'll come back with another video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to give it a try, I do like playing with Steel Grasp too. It is a lot of fun to play. So I would try checking it out, see what you guys think. Let me know if there's any improvements you think I can make. And I will see you in the next video.